So the second half of day one, okay, we're on quadrilaterals. Okay, by that prefix, okay, quad, okay, there's your key there, right, that it's got 4 sides. Those angles add up to. So what do you think the angles add up to? In a triangle, they add up to 180. What do you think for a quadrilateral, any quadrilateral, what do they add up to? 360. Yep. Square. All the sides are what? What do you know what a square? Yep. And we're just going to make that congruent instead. Okay, we're going to say congruent. Generally, we tend to use that a little bit more in geometry. Opposite sides are parallel. Okay, that's symbol for parallel. Opposite sides are parallel. All angles are what in a square? 90 degrees. 90 degrees. Okay, they're right angles. So we've got those little right angle boxes, okay, all the way around our shape, and we know that all 4 sides are equal to each other. Area formula on your green sheet, you're always going to look at the area formula for the parallelogram, okay? So on your green sheet, area formula for a parallelogram, what does it say? A equals what? About 2 people are looking at their green sheet. Caitlin. A equals B times H. Yep. So base times height. So you'll always refer to, for quadrilateral, well, most quadrilaterals, the parallelogram on your green sheet. Okay, on your that reference sheet. Okay, pretty simple, right? Now it says find the perimeter and the area. So we got to answer 2 questions here. With a square whose side length is 9. So I mentioned this the other day. When they talk about a shape, you've got to draw it. Okay? So go ahead and draw your square and then label it. Side length is 9. How many sides do we have? 4. And it's a square, so all of them should have, yep, all of them should have a what on them? A 9. So perimeter, we add all sides. Who's got it? 36. So we have 4 sides, and they're all 9, right? I did the shortcut. Okay, instead of writing 9 plus 9, 9 plus 9, 36. And then the area, we just said it's base times height. So what's the base? First one. 9. What's the height? 9. So 9 times 9 is 81. So did we answer both questions? Yes. Perimeter, area. So now it says, next question says, the perimeter of a square. Okay, they mentioned a square. Draw it. They say that the perimeter of it is 20x minus 4. What is the length of one side of the square in terms of x? Remember we said when it says in terms of x, x will be in your answer. So if my perimeter is 20x minus 4, and it's a square, and all the sides are equal, how am I going to figure out what one side is? This perimeter means all 4 sides added up. Yeah. Okay. Guys, here's a little trick. If they ask for a side, divide. Okay, so it kind of rhymes. Ask for a side. If they ask for a side, you divide. So they're asking for a side, so think in your mind, divide. So So if I take 20x minus 4 and I divide it by 4, that's something we really haven't seen, but I bet you could come up with what one of the sides is. Essentially what you're doing that divided by 4 and that divided by 4. Tonight. Awesome. 5x minus 1. And that's each one of the sides. All right, rectangle. Okay. So we know in a rectangle that the opposite sides they're congruent, opposite sides. You guys have a picture of the rectangle? Yeah. Yes. Okay. So opposite sides, so the top and the bottom are equal to each other. Now, the left and the right, notice I'm putting different marks on them, because those two are equal to each other. They're not all equal, it's not a square. So opposite sides are congruent, and they are also parallel to each other. What do we know about the angles of a rectangle? 90 degrees, okay? Are 90 degrees, so we can put in those little right angle boxes in there. Same thing like the square, the area formula, use the parallelogram formula on your sheet, which was what? Base 10 height. So 10 says, find the perimeter and the area of rectangle, ABC. So they're telling us the shape. We've got to answer 2 questions. And we got to give it a name. They're telling us it's rectangle ABC. So draw that rectangle if you haven't already. Let's see, where's the rectangle? So now it says rectangle ABCD. So now you decide how you want to label it, but you're either going to go counterclockwise around the figure or clockwise. It doesn't matter. But you can't jump around, meaning, so if I start here, I could go to the right for B, then down for C, and then back over to the left for D. This is what you can't do. Don't write this. Okay, you can't say that this is A and then put B down here and then C over here and D over there. You can't do that. All right? You've got to stay continuous around the shape. Okay, you can't hop from one angle to the other. Okay? So that's how I've chosen to label it. Now I can go through and put in AB is 10. And B to C is 6. So what else do I know about this shape? Caitlin? Yep. So the bottom side, can you name it? What is the bottom? DC. Okay. DC is, whoops, what do I got going on here? DC is 10. And then what's the left side? What's its name? AD, and it is 6. So we've got to find the area and the perimeter. Perimeter. Add all sides. So what am I adding up?
You're doing it. You can do times 6. Then you can do times 2 possibly.
Sure, you absolutely could do that. Okay, he's kind of thinking the shortcut. Okay, we could do that. Lots of different ways you could write that. Caitlin, what are you thinking?
I got 32.
Okay, so she came up with the answer to come up with 32. Perfect. Area. We said we use base times height. Somebody else. Base times height. Danny, what am I going to use? Sure. 10 times 6, which is 60. Did I answer both questions? No. Yes, just for perimeter and area. Go ahead, flip it. Okay. Parallelogram. Okay. Parallelogram, similar, okay, to the rectangle, okay. Opposite sides are congruent, and they are parallel. Opposite angles are congruent. So opposite sides are equal or congruent. So the top and the bottom get 1 mark each, but then the left and the right are equal to each other, and they get 2 marks each. Because like I said, it's not a square. Not all equal to each other. And then opposite angles are congruent. The way we mark angles, okay, kind of like a little half circle, okay? So these two are equal to each other, opposite, okay, across from each other. And then to mark this different, those get 2 marks, okay, 2 little half circles. Those two are equal to each other. And area formula from your green sheet, decent. So far, we've had 3 shapes, same area formula, okay? That should be pretty easy to remember. So, same kind of question, but dealing with a parallelogram. They give us a name and some information, and then they also tell us that the height, okay, from DC to AB is 4. So let's draw a parallelogram. Parallelogram, did I miss it? It's there, I just can't seem to find it right now. Okay. Whoops. All right, so parallelogram. Parallelogram is really like a rectangle that's kind of like been pushed to the side. It's kind of got a lean to it. And same thing. When you label this, pick a vertice or an angle to start with and go counterclockwise or clockwise around it. And it says that AB is 12. So if AB is 12, what else do we know? CD is 12. And AD is 5. So we also know that what else is 5? BC. Okay. No. We good? Okay. Now it says the height from DC to AB is 4. Now this is just going to look a little weird, okay, but that's okay. So the height from DC, so DC is on the bottom, to AB. Remember we talked about, okay, when you're being measured at the doctor how tall you are? Okay, you stand straight up. Okay, you don't lean, okay, like the side of this parallelogram leans. So we've got to draw in that height. Okay, nice and perpendicular, making a right angle. And they said that the height is 4. Okay, so that's how tall it is. Height is 4. So area and perimeter. Perimeter, we said we add all the sides. I'm repeating myself. Hopefully we'll all remember that. So if we add up all the sides, what do we get? 12 plus 12 plus 5 plus 5 is what? 34. Nice. Perimeter is 34. Area is base times height. 12 times 5, who's got it? 60. Nice. 60. Okay. Rhombus. It's kind of cool. Okay. So the rhombus is like a square. Base times height, yes, thank you. I made a mistake. So the base is 12, but what's the height? I even wrote it in red.
4.
Height is 4. Yeah, we gotta change that. Okay, so we gotta change that. Make sure you change it. So we know, okay, that the height is 4, so now what's the area?
48.
Yeah. Okay, good catch on that one. All right, rhombus. Rhombus is like a square that's been pushed to the side, so it's leaning. So all the sides are congruent. Opposite sides are parallel. Opposite angles are congruent. And the diagonals, okay, to add a little something extra in here, are perpendicular. Who remembers what's the symbol for perpendicular? What's the symbol? Anybody remember the symbol for perpendicular? Anna, you're drawing it in the air. Oh, no. No?
Right now it's like a T,
It's an upside down T. Yeah. Okay. So the symbol for perpendicular is that upside down T. And then what does perpendicular mean? Okay, they make right angles. Area again, what do you think? What do you think? Still a quadrilateral. Base times height. Okay, so we've got some pictures, okay, on our paper. So let's mark these. So all 4 sides are equal. Kind of like a square, like I said. Kind of like a square. But it's been pushed to the sides with leaning. So we don't have right angles here, but the opposite angles are congruent. So the lower left and the upper right. And then the upper left and the lower right. My picture's a little off because my smartboard's a little odd today. Okay. And then over here, let's address what it means about the diagonal. So a diagonal goes from corner to corner. Okay, opposite corner to opposite corner. And then if we draw in the other, it's not going to let me at that correctly. If we draw in, there we go. We draw in that other diagonal, and we said that they're perpendicular, so they make right angles. So we got rid of 4 right angles right there in the center. Right? So let's find perimeter area and of a rhombus. Okay. So go ahead and draw a picture of a rhombus. Yeah?
Would it be like, how is there MT of like, I thought it was like M, A, and then down, like C.
So, let's draw that, okay? And then we got a question on it. So I'm going to start up here, or down here, lower left. M-A-T-H. Then MA is 10. So because it's a rhombus, what else do we know is 10? TH, what else? AT, what else? All of it, right? M-A-T-H. We'll get there. We're not at MT yet. Okay? Now it says that MT is 16. What are they talking about? MT is the what? Say it, Anna. Diagonal. Okay. So MT, okay, is the diagonal. And AH is the what? HH is the what? It's the other diagonal. and that's 12. The height is 6. How can I draw in the height of this rhombus? Because it's leaning. Caitlin? Yeah. Okay, you can draw a line. It doesn't matter on the left side or the right side. Okay, that's how tall it is, and it is 6. Okay. So, what is the perimeter? At both sides, what do we get? 40, because they're all 10. 4 times 10. And area. Be careful, let's not make the same mistake again. What's the base? Well, what's the base? 10. And what's the height? 6. So the area is 60. Okay. One more shape. Now this one, okay, the rhombus, or excuse me, the trapezoid, put a star by it. It's quadrilateral, but it has its own set of rules. Okay? So it says only one pair of opposite sides is parallel. Look at that shape that I have on your paper. Which set of sides is parallel? The top and the bottom, or the left and the right? The top and the bottom. Okay. You can mark parallel by these sort of little arrow marks. Okay, those are understood to be that to indicate that those are parallel to each other. We don't always put them in there on every shape because sometimes it clutters the shape a little bit. We'll say again. What's so many lines?
It's like there's a letter.
You need different symbols?
Oh yeah.
I don't know. Mathematicians are a little crazy. Do we have the trapezoid formula on our formula sheet? We do not. Okay. I will give this to you on the test. Okay. 1/2 times the height times base 1 plus base 2. So the top is the base 1, bottom is the base 2, and then if we need to find the height, do I have the height already on that picture? Is there anything that's nice and straight up and down? Yeah, we got to draw it in. Okay, so that would be the height. And it works like every other formula. You just plug your numbers in, and then use your calculator if you need to. Okay, so 2 questions on trapezoid, and we're done. Okay, you guys don't have a picture there, so go ahead and draw in a trapezoid. We've got to find the perimeter and the area. And we're going to call it TRAP. Okay, label yours like I've labeled mine. It gives us this little piece of information over here. Make sure we label it correctly. It says TR is congruent to AP. There's another word in here that I skipped over. Isosceles. So what does that mean? Isosceles. When you remember talking about an isosceles triangle. Isosceles triangle has how many congruent sides? Right? Think back. You learned about an isosceles triangle before. Isosceles triangle has 2 congruent sides, so therefore an isosceles trapezoid has 2 congruent sides. One pair of congruent sides. So let's label TR is 13. So if TR is 13, AP is 13, RA is 18. What else do we have? TP is 28. And the height from TP to RA, TP to RA, so the height, I'm drawing that nice perpendicular height, is 12. Perimeter. Add them all up. What do we get? Yeah, I don't know.
Wait, I don't know.
2018, okay, let's. We end up with 72? Yeah. Area, so let's write down that formula. 1/2 the height, parentheses, base 1 plus base 2. 1/2. What's the height? 12? What's base 1? Okay? You can go to your calculator right now and enter it exactly the way you see that. And then hit enter. So 1/2, you've got to tell it times 12, and then open up your parentheses, 18 plus 28, and then close your parentheses. Who thinks they have it? Who's got it? Nope.
Got it. I got 276.
276.
Oh, but I can multiply.
There we go. Okay? All right.